Having the right tools in the studio is essential when making jewelry. That includes one of the most important, my torches. So I was very excited when Bernzomatic asked to partner for this video to show what the FirePoint Creator Tool is capable of. It's easy to turn on, adjust, and I can hold it multiple ways. I'm Melissa Muir, and in this video, I'm going to show you how I use this torch to create this beautiful sterling silver pendant. This was a fun project, and I wanted to put the torch to the test. When I roll out metal with a mill, it work hardens and needs to be annealed so I can work with it again. This means that I use a torch to heat the metal to a point where the crystalline structure relaxes and it makes it more workable. This is a 1.3 millimeter thick piece of wire, and the FirePoint Creator Tool handles it beautifully. Just work slowly and allow the metal to absorb the heat. The metal is now easily manipulated and bent into shape, and here I'm building the frame of the pendant. Once I have the rough shape, I can solder it closed and reshape it on the mandrel. I follow a similar process for the elements that will make up the inner design. I cut the rings, solder them closed, and reshape them on the mandrel. There are quite a few elements needed for this piece, and I am now ready to arrange them for the final layout. Care is given to how the pieces fit together, and it is carefully moved onto a soldering board. Flux and solder are added to each of the joins. For best results, use only Bernzomatic MAP-Pro or propane gas. The FirePoint Creator Tool features a tight hot flame, and that fine tip allows me to concentrate on individual joins. Silver conducts heat, and that can make things a little tricky. I like to work from the bottom outside and move up. Now, as I do this, I can control the heat a little bit better. Once I get one area to start flowing, I can move through the rest of the piece, flowing the solder as I go. I don't want to hold the heat in any one area too long or allow the metal to get red, as that is an indicator that I'm about to melt the metal. Next, I created the bezel for our piece. I use a 0.6 millimeter thick, fine silver wire fitted to the labradorite stone. I then mark and cut the wire. Sometimes I need to reshape that wire to ensure a proper fit, and once I'm sure the bezel fits just right, it's time to solder it closed. Now you can see the torch handles this job easily, flowing that solder into the seam. It can now be added to a solid backplate, in this case a 0.6 millimeter sheet of silver. And once again, just look at that beautiful flash of silver indicating a really good flow. The more elements I add, the more complex the piece becomes and really challenges the torch. Here I have added some delicate tube settings and the bezel. Up until now I've used hard solder only. This time, I stepped it down to easy solder, as they're the last elements, and as you can see, the solder flows beautifully. The last part of this project is setting the stones. I am using clear 3 and 4 millimeter CZ stones for a little bit of flash and fire. I have a special tool that allows me to hammer set them into place quite easily, quickly, and securely. I use the same process for both tube settings. Next, I place my labradorite cabochon into place and make certain it is all the way down. I use my bezel pusher to work my way around the stone, pushing the metal down against the curved sides. It doesn't take much, and I only need the top of the bezel to be slightly smaller than the bottom to keep that stone secure and from coming out. Following the bezel pusher, I use a polished curved burnisher to smooth out any bumps that may have occurred during the pushing phase. This also leaves a nice flashy edge around the stone. When I am finished for the day, I always shut down my torch, and in this case, I turn off the flow of gas and remove the hose from the fuel canister. I can then press the ignition button on the torch handle to bleed out any remaining fuel from the hose. Place the torch head in the metal-lined dock, replace the fuel canister in the heat-resistant base, and to keep things tidy, I like to wrap the hose around the canister, and I'm done for the day. This project was complex with multiple joins, a number of wire thicknesses, and delicate elements. And as you can see, the FirePoint Creator Tool did a great job. It is certainly worth looking into for your jewelry making projects. You can learn more at bernzomatic.com.